Hi, Sophie. Do you want to walk around? Okay, go ahead. All right, guys, as you can see, I'm at the park with my daughter, and let's take a look at what I'm wearing. All right, you're looking at Seiko 5 number 3, and I actually got this the same day as I got my second Seiko 5. I did the unboxing myself, and I cleaned it. Now, I was really careful cleaning it. It's a chronograph, as you can see, so it's got more holes in the case than, more openings than a typical watch, so I didn't submerge it. Also, it's an old watch. It's from the 70s, so I was careful. And I cleaned it with a Q-tip. I wet a Q-tip and cleaned the bezel, and where the bezel meets the case and in between the lugs. I also took off the bracelet and washed the bracelet, which is an aftermarket bracelet. And I was really surprised. It was really clean. I think it's been taken care of. And I think it's had an overhaul sometime in its life. The auction pictures showed the case back off, and I could see that the case back had a date written in it, which was probably the last overhaul. It runs really well. That's one of the things I've come to realize. I was sort of having just some private time with it, and thinking about it and figuring it out, and seeing how it has been running. And as you can see, it doesn't have a second hand. It's got the timing indicator, but no second hand. So checking the accuracy is a little tough. What I did this morning, well, what I did yesterday was I lined up the minute marker to the minute hand, well, vice versa, right? The minute hand to the minute marker. And I used time.is, and you know, when it hit the minute, right? It was right on that marker, and so I checked it this morning, and it was the same. The minute hand wasn't a little ahead or a little behind. It was dead on. So I think it's keeping good time, and I'm going to wear it for a couple days and see. Now I'm going to do a video where I really talk about the watch, but I just want to give sort of an introduction, and it's an interesting watch in the sense that it's a chronograph. It's my first chronograph, but there's no totalizer. So it's kind of weird. How do you use this watch? Why would you not want a totalizer? I've had a couple days to think about it, and so I'm going to make another video and give you my thoughts on that. But it is an interesting and slightly puzzling watch in that regard. You can see that it's got the Japanese character, the kanji days. It's also got English as well. I think this is a Japanese domestic model. I'll tell you the story of getting it. So I saw it on Yahoo Auction, and it was the auction was ending in 2 days, so I pressed the button so I'd get a notice an hour before it ended. A couple days later, I checked my email, and I had 10 minutes before the auction ended, and I didn't really know anything about the watch, so I had to learn as much as I could in 10 minutes. And one of the things I did was, well, I checked out some of the images on Google Images, and I typed the model into YouTube, and I found a J. Anthony video, and link in the description to that. That helped me out. I couldn't even watch the whole video because by the time I found that video, I think I had 6 minutes left, and so I watched about half the video, and I told myself I would place one bet on it. You know, I didn't want a situation where I was constantly placing bets, and somebody had a what do you call it, a reserve on it, and I thought I'm going to give it one bet, and that's it. And I did, and as you can see, I won the auction. What can I say? Well, I can't say much now, really, because you know, I want to say more when I have a little bit more time, and I can really sit down and tell you my thoughts on it. And I think one of the most interesting things about it is something I've already mentioned, the lack of a totalizer. It's just a weird watch. So it's an odd watch with that lack of a totalizer, and that's one of the things that has puzzled me about it. How do you use this watch? I mean, what does it mean, right? What is it? How do you use it? Is it just for timing things under a minute? Perhaps, but for the past couple of days I've been thinking about that, and I sort of have a different take on it, and I'm going to share those with you, but I wanted to give an introduction, and here it is, Seiko 5 number 3, and we'll look more at it in the future. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.